Call to order the DDA meeting of May 1st. Susan, would you please call the roll?
I'd be delighted. Newcomb Clark. Here. Russ Collins. Bob Gunsel, excuse me. Lee Gott.
Here.
Roger Hewitt. John Heathja.
Here.
Joan Lowenstein. Here. John Moa. Nader Nassif. Keith Orr.
Here.
Sandy Smith.
Here.
John Split.
Here.
We have a quorum.
And Mr. Collins is
I have so noted.
Here. It's about time.
Okay, the next item on our agenda, commentary from the public. Our first person is John Weiss, in the neutral zone. You have 4 minutes.
Mary Peoples.
Okay, please approach the podium
Hi, how are you?
and...
Here's a little propaganda for you all.
Okay.
Good afternoon. Thank you so much for having us. I'm John Weiss. I'm the Executive Director of the Neutral Zone. And this is my colleague, Mary Peoples, who runs our art department. And I'm going to let Mary do most of the talking, but I'm just going to, first off, thank the DDA for all of the support and partnership you've given us over the past several years. I don't know how many of you were involved when we had our energy audit. I think it was 2006 or 7. And subsequently, you helped fund some energy improvements to our building. And we have about a 25% savings in our energy costs as a result of that. So that was huge for us. So thank you so much. And then a year and a half ago, we came over knocking on your door again, and you helped us redo our driveway. You helped broker some of the contractors who were in town working, putting up streets and roads, and we got a great deal redoing our driveway, which was sorely needed. So we are thrilled to be here and to thank you and to tell you how much we love the DDA, and there's a new exciting project that you're helping to support. So take it away, Mary.
Sure.
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. Again, Mary Thiefels. I'm the Visual Arts Coordinator at the Neutral Zone. I have a long history of public art here in Ann Arbor and also in southern Michigan, and now at the Neutral Zone wanting to kind of extend these opportunities to the youth in our community, providing productive public art opportunities. After talking with Susan, we received a generous grant from the DDA, and I just want to give you kind of a preliminary report before we get going on these projects, to save an idea of what we're going to be doing. I've got a competitive application that went out to all of our youth at the Neutral Zone, and I have 7 applicants that are very excited and behind this opportunity. I'm setting it up like a work study. They will be choosing a site, most likely one of our loved underpasses. The Ann Arbor Railroad is a big supporter of public art, productive public art, and will be partnering with us on that. The youth will submit a proposal, a design, a budget, and a timeline. They'll document the process through video, photography, and a follow-up report, and then send out a final press release, potentially an unveiling. So I really want them to have that kind of full circle experience of kind of ownership, design, learning how to talk about what they want to create, and then also following through. They'll receive a small stipend as a part of the work study, as a part of the generous grant. So you'll be seeing us at the end of the summer with photos. Hopefully you'll be at some of the unveiling or part of the press release. But again, just giving productive public art opportunities to our youth.
Thank you very much. Next person on our list is Dave McNamara from Sure.
I'm representing myself and Omari Rush, who could not be here. He is actually the founder of Sure, which was an anagram of his last name, of Rush. In essence, not here to complain or anything like that, more to say thank you guys for what you do. Young professional, own my own business around the outskirts of downtown. And what we've tried to do in quite a few different aspects via the Sure series or what we're going to promote in what we are calling Foxtrot is taking younger professionals who want to be downtown and introduce them to, in essence, local businesses, because it's something that I feel very strong about. I'm an Ann Arbor kid and could not imagine being anywhere else. So it's something that for myself, for Omari, for numerous ones of my friends, we just want to say we're here to stay. We really like what you guys do and what you want to promote, and we're going to try and do anything that we can, sort of small edge and locally, in promoting, in essence, the downtown. So feel free to holler at myself or Omari or any of our friends to see what we can do to promote the brand as well.
Great news. Thank you so much. The next person is Al Haber.
Hello, DDA. I wanted to give a little update on our proposal for the skating rink. We met with the partnership committee, and you're going to get a report on that. We were given a number of questions to pursue, which we've been pursuing, and there's a subcommittee of the partnership committee that we'll probably meet with before their next meeting in a week. We had a meeting with the city attorney. One of the questions was, how could this surface lot actually be used for something else than parking? How did we amend the contract between the city and the DDA to exempt the DDA from the obligation of collecting parking money on that? And the city attorney described how that would be done, and the several council people are working out a resolution. It doesn't involve rezoning, it involves repurposing from public land parking to public land non-parking. And we inquired, well, is there any other public land non-parking in Ann Arbor? Well, yes, there's one other public land non-parking on the formerly residential lot that is now city public land at First and Kingsley that is a rain garden, so described, not a park, not parking, not a house, a rain garden. So that sort of redesignation to public land non-parking is what we're really looking for, so the DDA would be removed from obligation of management and collecting revenue. There were other questions from the city attorney that we are examining exactly what would be the legal form, whether it would be a nonprofit organization or a cooperative, so that it would be a public that is actually managing this set of activities. We were asked to look at a comparable or potentially comparable rink in Boulder, Colorado, which is quite interestingly one Boulder Center plaza in the center of town that is a synthetic rink. It's only operates seasonal, so they just actually closed it. It's the same problem. They used to have a flooded rink, but the season has changed, and so they can't actually freeze it anymore, so they've been using this synthetic ice. It's a big draw to downtown, and people seem to like it, and it gets a lot of publicity. It was established by the Boulder equivalent of DDA, Downtown Boulder Association, with a supporting sponsorship of 7 corporations. So it was the DDA Boulder and 7 corporations that put the money together to make this happen and function. The main problem with it is that it is small. And I talked to friends in Boulder who said they know of this place, but it's not big enough for hockey, which we don't want, but it is really too small, and that's one of the questions we're looking at vis-a-vis the space where we're talking about on the library lane lot or Liberty Plaza. People, why don't you do it there? So that was what I want to convey, that we are working on all the questions that have been given to us doing our due diligence. We have a 2-year pro forma, the initial experimental demonstration period of financing that we hope you will contribute to. If not, we'll look for other contribution. But and then a pro forma how this would operate over a 2-year period. So we're trying to get together our information. We'll meet with a subcommittee, hopefully before the next partnership. And at the city council level, we hope to see a resolution that would be permissive of this repurposing for public use.
Thank you.
And that's basically what we're looking for, public use for public land.
Thank you very much.
And we've dealt with a lot of other questions. When we were asked to talk to the library board, and we talked with them and are dealing with the security, safety issues also that are widely raised.
Thank you. Next are reports from city and commissions. Ray Detter, Citizens Advisory Council.
You have in front of you an invitation to the annual downtown party, which is June the 6th. And I'm not going to give any details, but other people who, of course, are part of the downtown community are also being invited. And as usual, we hope it's going to be a huge success. And the Citizens Advisory Council also wanted me to make an announcement. As some of you know, the Citizen Advisory Council is made up of members appointed by mayor and city council, all of whom live in the downtown DDA area. That's the only qualification, other than a desire to make the downtown a better place for present and future downtown residents, and to report to the city council and other groups the views of our membership on downtown developments and issues. That's wide open with regard to possibility, with regard to people who are living anywhere in the DDA area. Our members generally meet each month in City Hall, usually the day before the DDA. We now have 11 active members. We're allowed 15 members, and I just wanted to take this opportunity to announce to anybody who's hearing this, or anybody who's in the audience, or you, if you know of anybody who lives downtown and wants to be a member of the Downtown Citizen Advisory Council, they simply have to get approval of the mayor and the city council to do that. And we'd be glad to have them at one of our meetings to check us out, to see whether or not they really want to belong to the group, so we can bring it up to 15, because there's a lot to do, as you know, in the downtown area at any particular point. Or they can call me, rdedder, or email me at rdedder@umich.edu, and I'll follow up on that. And one of the many downtown projects initiated by the Citizens Advisory Council over the years was what has become the Downtown Ann Arbor Historical Street Exhibit Program. You're all familiar with that. Those of us working on that program had a meeting yesterday of our education committee and senior tour guides to prepare for our annual high school downtown walking tours on Wednesday and Thursday, May 15th and 16th. It's a short way away. This year we're bringing 600 students to downtown, giving them 13 different tours on 2 different days in order to make them aware of the nature of the downtown area and also the history of the city of Ann Arbor. And this year the senior guides and trained high school junior guides will be coming from those 2 schools and guided on the downtown exhibits by junior guides. I meant to mention junior guides because we have, in addition to senior guides, we have junior guides who are representing the schools, because we want this to be a sustainable program so the students will eventually take over these tours that will be in the downtown area. And there are now 23 glass frames in the downtown on 13 guided tours, and there are also 60 porcelain enamel wall images, and there are additional pedestal maps and also artifacts throughout the downtown. Those are part of these exhibits. And we hope this year to add our last 4 wall images, which are scheduled to be put up on the future Walgreens drugstore walls on North University and State. And they'll be telling the story of social cultural change in the city of Ann Arbor, former Michigan Women's Supply building. We haven't gotten a total agreement on that, but we certainly got a lot of interest from the new owners of the building. And one of the elements, of course, that will also be followed by our dedication and also a grand party in the nearby area, which you'll all be invited to at that particular time. One of the elements in our walking tours is the inclusion of what we call a resource person on each tour. People like Mark Hodash on our German-American tour, he's a resource person because he can talk about the German-American background of hurdlers and walkers. We bought a buggy this year, and that's installed in downtown Home and Garden, hanging there, so the kids will be aware of the fact, because it was just made across the street in what is now the musical society. But in addition to that, we have people like Ann Arbor Arts Center. Sorry, thank you. That's a correction I wanted to. I was searching for that name. But also Greg P., who was the former head of the Black Elks. We have him stationed in the area near the farmer's market. What he tells is a story as a child, as a 5-year-old, of being not going to Jones School, which was the community school for the black neighborhood in that area, but sent to a white school because most of we liberals supported busing at that particular point. And he talks about the fact that it was disastrous for him in terms of the nature of his particular story. That sort of thing. And Alan Haber just consented to be one of our resource people up on the walls, images that deal with the changes in Ann Arbor in the 1960s. Because who knows more about that than Alan. And at yesterday's meeting, a longtime member of our education committee, Eunice Burns, you all probably know Eunice, agreed to be a resource person for the first time on our walking tour, which is entitled County and City Government. And Eunice, as you know, has a long career in politics and government. She's a former city council member. But, and this is the reason why I mentioned this at this particular point, it was in 1988 that she was the chair of the Downtown Development Authority. When I came in there as then representing the Citizens Advisory Council for the Downtown Development Authority to ask for $20,000. Well, at that particular point, I didn't get $20,000, I got $30,000 from the DDA, and then later a little bit of money. was some that came from the county, thanks to Bob Gunsel at that particular point, but we got started a $1 million project. But I just want to say at this particular point how thankful we are with regard to that seed money, because the DDA made possible that whole project. With your seed money, we went and sought other particular groups for money, and of course that's all now funded by private donations. We don't ask anybody for anything beyond the nature of private people, and they've been very good with regard to maintaining what we need in order to continue it. And CAC certainly wants to thank you very much at this time for your wisdom in making that important contribution. So the final thing I'll just say, next year we have plans to make all of our exhibits interactive, so that when people come to the downtown, whether they go to a restaurant, a bar, a bank, whatever it may be, they'll be able to take their cell phone and go to our exhibits, and the exhibits will talk to them and tell them the story of the history of Ann Arbor. And we've met already with people who will do that. Apparently that's also going to be contributed, as has been so many other contributions, like the Ann Arbor District Library's contribution to our website. If you've never gone to it, it is, I always forget the name of it, www.aadl.org/AA Streets. That website is a dream. And that was something that Josie Parker and the library gave to the street exhibit program, in part because the DDA had been so supportive of the program before. But thank you very much.
Thank you, Ray. Communications from DDA members? Anybody? No communication. Russ?
Go to Senatopia.
Oh, you got to talk about Senatopia. Downtown. May I have a motion to approve the minutes of the April 3rd
So
meeting?
moved.
Support?
Second.
Any corrections, additions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's passed. The next is the Partnerships Committee. Sandy and Joan?
I'll start, since I wasn't here last month, I'll do some of the heavy lifting. As you heard from Mr. Haber, we did have a presentation, the second one, about the potential rink on top of the library lot, and we continue to have a lot of questions, a lot to do with security, some of the financial issues. There were more questions, I think, than there were answers, and it continues. So this is, as I said, the second time we've done this, so we're kind of setting them back to the drawing board and looking for all the details. If we're going to go forward with this, this is something that would need to have a lot more flesh on the bone at this point. So if we do have an opportunity to meet prior to the next meeting, which is a week from today, May 8th, then we will again have a follow-up presentation. The other thing we had was Councilmember Peterson joined us, and she floated the idea, is a resolution not yet presented to council, but she's looking at creating an economic development task force with Spark, DDA, City Council members to kind of go through goals and tactics for the downtown and economic development of the city in general. It isn't, to my knowledge, been presented yet on the agenda. I don't know what the timing is, but she wanted to float it by us and see, and she had a very warm response.
Looks like May 20th now.
May 20th, it will be on the agenda for City Council. And then do you want to talk about Spark at all?
Well, we're going to have an update from Paul Kretko at our next meeting about Spark's work plan and how we can interact more with Spark, which I think is sort of part of what Councilmember Peterson wants to do. But we have been working with Spark all along, and I assume that this update from Mr. Kretko will just be about what further projects we can continue to work with them on.
Okay, that's it.
Thank you. Next meeting is Wednesday, May 8th, 9 a.m. here. Operations Committee, I think you were going to give a report, Keith, because John Roger's not here.
The transportation
Okay,
aspect,
transportation,
right.
that's fine.
Let's see, a couple of things. One is today is May 1st, which means lots of things, depending where you are in the world. But here in Ann Arbor, it means it's the first day of Commuter Challenge. So part of the, and this year we have so far, emphasis on, right? 1,400 individuals registered, representing more than 232 organizations. So every year that gets more impressive. DDA staff is participating as well as some board members. And It's not too late, I'm sure, to sign up. I think throughout the month you can sign up and win prizes and learn how to get downtown by some means other than driving your car down. We've participated as well at the Out Bar, and I know it does generate excitement. People are like, oh, let me see how many times I can click that button. So the other thing is the Bike House launch. Just a reminder for those who aren't aware, we are putting together a bike house over in the Maynard parking structure. It takes out 2 parking spots, but provides, how many bike spots is it going to provide?
Right now it's 37.
37 with, depending on configuration, the possibility of getting some more. I walked by it the other day, and it's hard to miss with the lime green walls and all around it. If you want to pass that around. When I walked by, there was the doors in, but not all the windows, but I understand they are in, and as we speak, the hoops are going in. So going to do some testing in terms of how the get in, get out process works, with the idea of Bike to Work Day, which is Friday, May 17th, being the official launch with, of course, John Moet, who's had so much to do with this, and John Heefje, who not only has had a lot to do with it, but is a biker himself, so how appropriate. So come on out for the launch. Going to have cupcakes there, I guess, I'm told. All right, so, if nothing else, even if you don't care about bikes, there's cupcakes. So that's it for the transportation.
I'm disappointed only because it's so aesthetic that, this idea of a cage for the bikes, we would have had a great opportunity to do a fundraiser, a cage fight fundraiser between Bob Gunzel and Ken Fisher. But it's too appealing.
To benefit Cinetopia.
Thank you, Russ Collins from the Michigan Theater.
Does that have to find its way into the minutes?
Strike that.
Strike that right now.
Off the
Okay, that's the Operations Committee.
Sandy.
Anything else, Sandy?
We had some questions and a just recent delivery of the parking data for March, and I don't know if you are in a position to
I guess I can,
respond?
since I always go to operations, though of course there was no operations meeting this month because of the number of people who are out of town, including Roger, which is the main reason we don't have parking data today, is because he's always the guy who vets it. My understanding is, however, in fact, while I was sitting here, I noticed that I have an email from Susan with the draft version of it, just because there was some concern about getting that data out. And so that will be available. In fact, it's in all of your email boxes, and anyone from the public who wants to see it is certainly welcome to do so at this point. It is with the emphasis that it is a draft. It hasn't been vetted, let alone proofread. But for those who are interested, we do have that available.
Thank you.
Okay, anything further? The next meeting will be May 29th at 11 here in the DDA offices. Is there any other DDA business? Is there any other audience participation? Seeing none, move for adjournment.
So moved.
Support? All in favor? Thank you.
Whoa.